if, let's say in the future, we reach a point that we're truly out of this recession in a meaningful way, and those deficits are where they're projected, 4 to 7% versus 2.5%, how quickly would that become a major problem in terms of the economy?
Well, it could become a problem tomorrow if bond markets are not persuaded that Congress is serious about bringing down the deficit over time. But in any case, certainly, if you look at the CBO numbers, by 2025, 2030, under existing policies, we're going to be seeing the curve looking very sharply rising.
But surely way before that, it would be an issue and a problem in terms of interest rates,
absolutely,
et cetera.
Absolutely, and we were seeing debt GDP ratios rising. You would be seeing crowding out of investment and other problems. Yes, absolutely.
So is it fair to say, we're perhaps not seeing those immediate threats because we're in a serious recession? Once we come out of that, those immediate threats, the chances of their having a real negative impact elevate enormously.
That's right, and we're not completely sure we won't have negative effects even sooner than that, depending on how interest rates respond.
Right. Mr. Chairman, I want to turn to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. On June 18th, the Treasury Secretary said before us, quote, Fannie and Freddie were a core part of what went wrong in our system, close quote. I assume you agree with that.
Yes, sir.
We're discussing regulatory reform. In terms of the draft bills we're discussing, there is no title on Fannie and Freddie. When should we be addressing that? Sooner rather than later, or when?
Well, I think for no other reason than just trying to reduce uncertainty in the markets, the sooner that you can come to some clarity on the future of Fannie and Freddie, the better. Of course, I understand that you're dealing with a lot of complex issues in financial reform and health care and other areas right now. But it would be obviously helpful to try to get some clarity on that. That doesn't mean necessarily that you can get to that new situation quickly. It's going to take some time to move from the current situation to a more stable long-run situation. But certainly I hope Congress is looking at this issue now and thinking about where you want to go.
Okay. We're really not looking at the issue now, at least in a meaningful way. And the schedule, as I understand it, particularly from Treasury, is not until 2011. Is there any good reason, in your opinion, to essentially put that off to 2011?
Well, I think their concern is just that the agenda is so full, and is there time, for everyone to focus on that? And that's not my judgment to make, but I think that's their concern. I think they would agree that an earlier resolution would be better, certainly.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I want to go to resolution authority and 13.3 type authority. And we've talked about this before, but it's really important, so I want to have the discussion quickly again. If in our regulatory reform package we come up with a reasonable, workable wind-down mechanism to resolve large failed institutions in an orderly way, to take them down, to break them up in an orderly way, if we do that, would you support our also taking away 13.3 and other similar authority from the Fed and others to put taxpayer dollars in large quantities into individual firms?
In short, yes, I would support that. 13.3 has been used two ways. It's been used in what you would call bailouts, and it's been used in developing these broad-based lending facilities to help individual markets, like the ones we just closed down on February 1st. I think the latter is a valuable thing to have in case of a future crisis. But we would be happy to give up any involvement in the wind down of failing systemically critical firms.
And just to make clear, I'm talking about the former, not the latter. So I think we're on the same page.
We're on the same page.
As I understand that the Treasury's position, they say they support a resolution authority, but they essentially also want to keep that other authority as, quote, foam on the runway, as sort of a backup plan, however you want to term it. Do you think that is necessary or a good idea?
It depends on exactly how the resolution authority is structured. It might be that you want the Fed to be available to provide liquidity as part of the resolution process, for example. But generally speaking, I prefer that you develop a process that leaves the Fed to do only its standard discount window lending against collateral, as it always has done without use of the emergency authority.
So if we get the resolution authority right, you don't see any need for that other authority with regard to individual firms continuing to exist?
We would be very happy if you could find a solution that allows us to give up that authority.